Alright guys, so I just shipped out 2 packages you guys saw at USPS. If you guys don't know, USPS does ship on Saturday, so I know a lot of you always come asking me, like, you thinking that you should be shipping Monday to Friday. You can actually ship Saturday, so that's pretty cool. And for now, I bought a TV on Black Friday. Pretty crappy thing I ended up picking up. Didn't realize it was a smart TV, so I gotta go return that to Walmart. I gotta return that other monitor to Best Buy, and then I have to go fill gas, and then I have a meetup at 3:30 or 4. He's coming to my place. It's an iPhone 8 Plus, 64GB Verizon, paid off, picking it up for $320. So I have to go get cash out of the ATM because I just dropped a bunch on those XS Maxes, and so I'll catch you guys in a little bit. Is this thing ever gonna stop? No, I'm just dead ass. Only $250 here though. Okay. Freaking half a phone to blow the damn thing. Alright guys, so it is about 5:15 right now. Just finished up a 2-hour long call with a business partner of mine. We talked about a lot of great things, got a lot done. One thing I like to do during the day, if you guys don't do it, is definitely just kind of get increments of time. So I don't like to work for hours and hours on end. One thing I like to do is actually I'll work for an hour or two, and then I'll take a break for a half hour, and then I'll work 2 hours, I'll take a break for a half hour. Obviously it changes every day, and not every day is just like that, but for some of you, like, you could get kind of burnt out pretty quickly, and I've been there. I had that when I thought grinding for like 9-10 hours a day was kind of the vibe that you should be going for. No, you need to have some sort of like cool off period in a sense. So like for me, either that's maybe playing Xbox for 30 minutes, or going to look up stuff, like watch a YouTube video or something. Like it's usually a lot of the time nothing to do with any sort of business or anything like that, just because I need to calm my mind in a sense, because when I'm doing these things, like it runs so, like my mind is running 1,000 miles per hour. I think about a lot of things. I think about what's going right, I think about what's going wrong. So I definitely recommend that you guys have that spacing kind of strategy in your day. There's so many people out there that recommend, like even like monks that recommend that you have like 58 minutes or some crap like that you need to work, and then take 13 minutes off. Like I just do it about 2 hours, and I take a break for a half hour. Pretty much for the rest of the day, I literally have somebody coming to pick up a phone right now. I don't know if you guys can see or not. I said if he's coming, and he said yes sir, so that should be an 8 Plus for $320, 64GB. Ended up picking up this iPhone X earlier as well, 64GB AT&T not paid off, so pretty excited about that. Got the box, got accessories, so that'll sell super well. You guys don't know, AT&T, if you can actually resell them locally, you just have to let the person know that it's not paid off. But it does. AT&T actually doesn't blacklist their phones or block them. They only go after the person that doesn't pay off. So that's a really cool tip if you guys are find AT&T phones. That's why you'll kind of sometimes see they're appraised decently higher than like a T-Mobile or Sprint, because you can actually resell locally. Don't tell anybody that they are paid off. I mean, you want to be as transparent as possible. Do good business, but just the right person will know that. I mean, it's not going to affect them at all. That phone's not going to go anywhere blacklisted or anything like that. So that's just a tip for you. Don't really know what I'm going to be doing, so I'll catch you guys in a little bit. Hey, what is up guys? So I appreciate you if you made it to this far in the video. Obviously I'm trying to throw some value bombs right at your way. So with that said, you can tell by the title of the video, I'm actually going to be talking about which is the best carrier to buy. And to be honest, a disclaimer, this is pretty much a little bit opinion based, a little bit factual based, mainly opinion based, but I just want to tell you the reasons why I like certain carriers over the other, and why you should too. And if you want to apply that to your phone flipping business, I can see why sometimes that might help you make a little bit more money. So definitely stick around to the end of this little value bomb. But with that said, let's get right into it. So I mean, my favorite carrier, and 99% of you should know that Verizon is probably the best carrier to get out there, simply because they're, in a sense, already pre-unlocked phones. For me, you'll notice by any private buyer going on eBay, going on Mercari, even going locally, one, you're probably going to get the highest price for Verizon phones because, again, I will just resell them as unlocked. And two, they just sell the quickest. I mean, if you think about it, if you're going to just sell an AT&T phone or you're going to sell a phone for any carrier, which one do you think is going to sell a little bit quicker? Because obviously you're tapping into a new audience, and that's one thing I notice reselling locally. And for some reason, I've been doing a lot of reselling locally lately. I don't know why, but just with a lot of these new XS Maxes, they're flying off the shelf. And so I'm able to get them a lot of the time unlocked. So I mean, I'm just getting a dang $200-300 profit on them like that anymore. So this month is really great for that, and so I want to know what you guys think. Like, is that something you guys are experiencing as well? But obviously Verizon, obviously the best carrier. The second one, in my opinion, would be AT&T, and that's kind of what sparked this video. You guys, if you guys watched from the beginning of or in the middle of the video, I talked about why AT&T is such a great carrier, and that is one, like, to be honest, they used to be valued a lot higher, and recently, I don't know when you were watching this video, but it's like end of November 2018, and AT&T phones used to be a lot more valued. Now they're a little bit less, but to be honest, one thing I didn't really do a couple months ago that I do now, and I mentioned this in the other part of the video, is AT&T not paid off can still be sold and used by any other person. Really, AT&T will never blacklist that phone. They only will go ahead and just like kind of hit the credit of the person that didn't pay off that phone. So that's a really cool feature about AT&T, and a reason why I like the phones. And to be honest, a lot of people, just based on my demographic, AT&T, and because Cricket is kind of the subsidiary of them, sell really well. I mean, a lot of people use Cricket out here in Arizona. I'm sure a lot of you in the East Coast, that might not apply. You might see some other carriers that do really well. But for me, just again, this is where it's all opinion based. AT&T phones, because I'm on the West Coast, they do really, really well reselling locally. Even if they're not paid off, I can sell them as Cricket as well. So that's a really cool feature of it. I love it. It just makes them an easy sell. And then the third one would be T-Mobile. For me, it's just kind of been one of those carriers where it's not too great, it's not the worst, but it does sell better than Sprint. So that's why I kind of go above with T-Mobile over Sprint, simply because of the fact of it will sell a little bit easier. Not even that, sometimes, I guess I can kind of go back and forth on that point. Sometimes a lot of people have Sprint. I mean, it just, based on my demographic, again, I don't have the most rich demographic. A lot of people near me I'm closer to the border, and that sometimes entails a little bit less income, so a lot of people go with Sprint because it is one of the cheapest carriers. So for me, I can sell a Sprint one a lot of the time, like that, but that means that's very rare, to be honest, simply because 99% of the Sprint ones are paid off, and I'd say are not paid off, and then I'd say probably 90% of the T-Mobile ones I get are not paid off. So I pretty much put those two in the same category. At one point they were supposed to merge. I'm not sure if that's still happening. I don't want to tell you guys anything that I don't for sure know, but to be honest, that probably won't make a huge difference because they weren't the best carriers, to be honest with. But with that said, like, don't get me wrong, like, I sell so many Sprint phones just like that, either because I'm selling to my private buyer, but I do have to price them lower, or two, I mean, they just sell really well, to be honest, on like Mercari and eBay, I've noticed. They're just easy carriers to sell. And if you see a phone like Verizon locked compared to a Sprint locked, to be honest, sometimes I see Sprint locks sell a lot faster than I would Verizon. So when I say Verizon in the beginning, I meant Verizon unlocked. You guys can kind of see why I prefer those carriers over that. So in the order again, I'd go Verizon, AT&T, T-Mobile, and Sprint. And one note that I should say is I pretty much buy 99% of my T-Mobile and Sprint phones is bad ESN. It just how the market works. If you've been in this game for long enough, not saying that I have, but for over a year now I've been doing it, I've just noticed that it's easier to praise them as bad ESN. If you sell to any private buyer, they're appraising a phone, like giving you the price on their sheet as a bad ESN phone anyways. So I hope you guys found some value in that. Let me know what you guys think. Is Verizon your best carrier? Is Sprint your best carrier? So, I mean, it really depends. I don't really know because I've only ever done this in the state of Arizona. So let me know what you guys kind of think about the carriers. Is Sprint better for you? Is Verizon better for you? Is AT&T or T-Mobile? Let me know in the comment section down below. Let's get a conversation going. And with that said, if you made it to this far in the video, you mean the world to me. And if you haven't liked the video yet, definitely give it a thumbs up. And if you aren't subbed to the channel yet, sorry for so many plugs. I'd appreciate you hitting that little subscription button down below because that shows me that you like the content. So with that said, I'll catch you tomorrow in the next video.